right. Good morning, everybody. One thing that occurred to me this morning, I was looking for a quote from Henry Miller, which when I find it, I will share it next time. But the gist of it was that that one of the great joys of being alive is living in rhythm, finding your rhythms. And my sense is that, for many of us, our rhythms have gotten flattened out here recently, with recent events. And it occurred to me that to let yourself specialize for, at least a week in returning to love scoops, because love scoops, when you make the motion of love scoops, that even if you're not feeling it, uh, actually faking it until you make it works with love scoops. And one of the reasons it works is that you're using your torso. Now I'd like you to just tune in for a minute of what has contracted, that you're aware of, what has contracted over the last couple of weeks in you, and where you most notice that, because we contract primarily to protect ourselves. And I'm imagining that a lot of you were feeling, oh God, I really need to protect myself right now. And even though you may be, trying to connect with people, and that your body's going, no, not safe. And so I want to address that directly, because we cannot think our way out of feeling like things are not safe and I need to really go back in my cave, which is also fine. But I want you to be able to have a peekaboo out of your cave. And the peekaboo really, I find, is the particularly love scoops, because when you contract, you've lost your rhythm. You've gone and you've narrowed yourself. And I don't know if you contract this way, or if you contract this way, or if you contract this way. So let yourself just try those on and see which resonates with you more. You can also contract sort of like by going up, by fleeing up, and going up into all kinds of blah, 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 blah. And you can also collapse, where you kind of and just sink. And that's a faint. And so that's one of the ones that love scoops are really good for. So let's first start with love windmills, because that's what most people think is, like, I'm doing love scoops, like, okay, I'm doing love scoops, and I don't feel any different, and this seems kind of stupid. I'm feeling silly here, but I'm doing it, like, so what? So those are love windmills. And the reason they're love windmills, they might create a little air for you, but not much else. And the reason for that is that you're not involving your torso, which is how your core and all of your feelings are there, including, sadness and anger, and grief, but also just that the fear that takes over before we really even know it. Now, I'd like you to imagine that all around you, we were using the image of water last week, that when you think of love and being loved and receiving love, are there any images that really work for you? So for me, having my feet in warm water, standing, imagining standing on a beach that I really love, and having and seeing the waves and feeling the air. So I'd like you to recreate a condition where you feel safe and you also feel love. And even if you're sort of, I don't quite know how to do that, I'd like you to just imagine that you're surrounded by love. And what is the sensory experience for you that makes you feel most loved? Is it hearing, like hearing music that you really love? Or is it, for me, hearing the motion of the waves? I feel included, and I feel like there's a big space that I can move out into. So I want you to just imagine that around you, and that you are reaching out into that in a way that is going to move your torso. And then you're scooping some of that in, and you're bringing that to the place that you notice feels most contracted. And it might be on your back. So like I'm it might be way in the middle, but so you can let it, if you can't touch that, you can let the love scoop roll down your back. You can hug yourself, but the important thing is that you are reaching out. So I want you to actually practice that, because love scoops don't work theoretically. They work really well if you use your body and you let yourself reach out, bring in some love, and bring it to any place where you're feeling even the littlest bit contracted. And then letting yourself notice, ah, the feeling of bringing love in and letting yourself receive it. So you can let yourself notice if there's any way in which you stop that. So you can stop it by stopping breathing. You can stop it by going up into your thoughts of like, oh, this isn't going to ever work. Or, I can do this at home, but I certainly am not going to do it at the grocery store, for God's sake. So you can just notice how you go away from the love scoop. And then I'd like you to just give a love scoop, like I would give it to my head if I were having that happening. I would just scoop and go, oh, yeah, busy mind, busy mind. Because I always feel, I don't know if you ever, like when you get your hair washed, those of you who do that, there's the loveliness of having somebody else take care of you and stroke your hair. And it just feels that's another kind of yummy love touch, letting yourself receive, noticing the distraction, and then just reaching out again and bringing it in. And my experience has been, even if I'm feeling funky, that if I let myself do it for 2 minutes, that I actually do experience a shift into more spaciousness. I might experience a flow of feelings. I might have, and that doesn't include that I'm going to feel all, oh, everything is good. I might feel a wave of anger. I might feel some grief. But if you're feeling, all feelings are connected. And if you let yourself experience your emotions, you let yourself open up your vitality hose, and you get much more aliveness. So if you're feeling that you're really wanting to be more, inside you, and you don't want to be around a lot of people, that's totally understandable. And I want to encourage you to let yourself use love scoops. So when I reach out, I can feel that all the way down into my hips. So if I'm just doing love windmills, I don't experience it in my torso. But if I'm really reaching out, I can feel it in my legs, because I'm actually shifting my weight. And then that begins to bring in that other element of finding your rhythm again. And one of the ways that I find my rhythm is in letting my attention shift, because like shifting out to, oh, who else is on the call today, and letting yourself do an imaginary love scoop to somebody on the call, and letting your love scoop go whoosh out to somebody on the call, and then back to you. And if you do the combination of both of those, of love scoops and then letting your attention shift, what I find is that it reawakens, um, what pace, rhythm, begins to awaken. Oh, I can act in the world. Don't have to be just collapsed, although it's fine to be collapsed. And when I combine the two of those, so if you've been doing that with me for just this little period of time, notice if you're feeling just a little bit more perkiness, a little bit more of, oh, oh, because when we start walking, one of the reasons that walking is so beneficial is that it returns you to your own essence pace, to your own rhythms, connecting with the world around you and with you. So that's what I would love to have you give your attention to, just periodically, and letting yourself then go back in if you want to, but that you have a way of opening and supporting yourself and practicing your love scoops and your shifting of attention. So now, Darlene, I would love to have you put up the screenshot for people to look at for our card today. And I'd like you to just take a moment to take in this card, the images on this card, as if it is a kind of a visual love scoop for you. And I'd like you to notice where your attention goes and the quality that you're looking at, letting yourself just scoop that right off of the computer or your device and bring it in to receive. I also love the little guy's openness. When I look at that, I start to feel wonder. I start to notice, oh, there's this big old universe that is still rolling along out here. And I begin to open up to the possibility of magic again. And I'd love for you to look at that while you're listening to first the sentence and then the question from our integrity cards. This one's from conscious communication. I listen to others accurately, appreciatively, and to invite wonder. So I'll say that once more. I listen to others accurately, appreciatively, and to invite wonder. Even when I say that, I felt a big expansion in my in-breath. And then here's the question. In what ways can I learn to speak that are free of blame and invite wonder? Ooh, that's a biggie for a lot of us right now. In what ways can I learn to speak that are free of blame and invite wonder? That's the sound that will assist you. You could even add that before the question. Or even just simplify it is, am I willing? Am I willing to speak in ways that are free of blame and invite wonder? So one of the questions that comes to me is, I wonder what's next. And let's come on back to the group, because I want to say just a couple more things about this card, which I really appreciate. If you like this card, pull it out of your electronic deck, pull it out of the chat, and keep it around so that you can look at it, you can notice it periodically over the next week or so as a homecoming for you, because listening accurately, appreciatively, and to invite wonder is a skill that I think is valuable in all aspects of life. If I'm listening, that makes a bridge, even if there's a big wall there. If I'm listening first accurately, listening for, am I hearing you, what you're saying? I may not agree with it, but am I hearing it? And then appreciatively. So, what is it that I could appreciate about this communication? For example, I appreciate that you're taking the time to connect with me. And I'm also appreciating that you want to create some kind of a connection. And then how can I invite wonder? I like to really use the and then notice what comes up for me after that. So like, I wonder where we could meet. I wonder what's something that's important to both of us. And then just letting that be in the space. Now, um, this is not something that I expect that we're all going to be just super duper A plus at, right away. But I do find that if I open space for listening accurately and listening appreciatively, and if my intention is to invite wonder, I may experience just a little opening, but a little opening is an opening, because all plants come through a little opening. They don't just burst into a tree. So what's the bud here? What's the bud that might make a difference? So those are the cards and our little practice for today. And then I'm going to just take a look at what we've got for present, connect, play. So for those of you who for whom this might be new, I've put since we just meet once a week in this, I like to bring in a whole bunch of different things that might be useful for you. So we do some love scoops and loop of awareness practice, and then we take a look at a card, and then our Presence Connect Play app, which is a free app, which can give you viable ways to continue presencing yourself, connecting with others, and inviting play. Because if there's anything we know is that play is much more effective than work. And we've all been conned into this, that work is the important thing and serious people work and they work hard and life is hard and you've got to work hard and all of this stuff about work. But we only let kids play, and less do we let kids play. So I want to reclaim play for all of us. And so here are the suggestions today. Oh, I love this. So presence is wonder. Hmm. And is your all-purpose wonder move. So if you're confused or you get to an impasse in a conversation, and I add a little wiggle or a little movement in my body. So I'm letting the open up resonance in my body. So I'd love to just let you practice that right now of hmm and letting that reverberate like just a little inner shower of hmm. And notice how that opens up. For me, it opens up ah, a kind of sense of steadiness and calmness. I was having a series of interactions with an IT technician over the last, actually this morning, and over the last couple of days that were kind of, and so I can feel as I'm that ah is first of all a balm for your nervous system. Hmm. And it will shift your state. So it will shift you from blame. So even though I was really pissed off at this IT guy for being late the third time, like, does he know who I am? And you should never be late with me. If there's anything I'm a policeman about, it's agreements. And so, and so I found myself sort of getting huffy and, and so, hmm is first of all for you. And then I also find that it opens up space for me to connect with others. But let's see what Connect says. Okay. Connect says open posture. So open posture is a great thing for us to focus on right now, because I imagine, like me, my posture has closed up in ways that I wasn't aware of. I got more flat and I got more collapsed. And it's kind of, ugh. So if you let yourself practice opening your posture, like where in you is a place that's been closed that might want to open now, and yawning is a great opener. So letting that yawn go all the way through your body, Sherry, is like, ah, ah. So when you open your posture, that actually opens to other people, opens to the universe, like I'm open, like open for business. So it allows everybody to notice, oh, you're open for connection. Lovely. And then play. Ooh, this one we haven't, I don't remember doing this for a while. Play is get way faster and then way slower. So let your hope, like right now, there's probably a whole bunch of things that you got to, oh my God, everything I have to do today, or everything that I didn't get to, right, and just feel how that is your, and then get way slower. Like, I don't want to do anything today. And then letting yourself, if you play with that a couple times, getting way faster and way slower, I think you'll find that your own essence pace wants to pop through there in a way that supports you. And also, you're playing, the whole idea with play is that you take what you're doing and you exaggerate it. And that's a really powerful way to start playing. The other powerful way is to do the opposite of what you're doing. And so we just did both of those. We did more of, and we did the opposite. And so rather than going, I shouldn't be doing that, I should stop doing that, I should do something more productive, do what you're doing more. And then do the opposite, and then do what you're doing more. So if you're like, oh my God, where are my glasses? And so you let yourself play with that, is a lot more effective than thinking about finding your glasses without using your whole body wisdom. So those are a few supports, uh, life rafts, company for you over the next week or so. Remember, we're just going 1 week at a time here. So I invite you to use what we've been doing and let it be of support to you. And thank you for showing up today, and for letting yourself be in community, because that's really the big thing that I'm wanting to create right now, is community where we connect, and that the fullness of feeling loved and appreciated then gets to ripple out into your world to include more and more people in community. I think it was Thich Nhat Hanh, I think I've mentioned this, but Thich Nhat Hanh says the next Buddha is community. And what we're really focused on is connecting with each other, supporting each other, calling forth our own natural power and ability to choose, and just step by step, day by day. So I'm going to take my leave now, and you're welcome to stay and have some big conversations with each other. And really appreciate, Darlene, you stepping in for Michelle, who was taking some much needed R&R. So I'm really happy that she did that. And I'd like you to find little mini vacations for yourself too during the day. All right. Mwah. Love to you all. Take care.